Okay, I'm just getting some shit set up. Big Wheel of Time bounds today, and let's talk about them. I'm going to get everything going that I can get going while we wait for my co-host Mary Lou. So welcome. I decided I'd start streaming during the little pre-stream phase, just so I could hang out, talk to y'all, my friends. But I'm just going to go through and get some of these relevant tweets and things already that have been coming out today. But if you're in the chat, go ahead and say hi. We're here to talk about all this new stuff that was announced. So we're talking pictures, we're talking casts, we're talking all sorts of shizness. The Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time. So we got a whole new clip. We got highlights. Oh, we're ready, baby. We're gonna look at some shiznias today. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, indeed. We are ready. Well, welcome. Welcome to Maidens of the Spear. This is a little Twitch talk show where we slash YouTube. We also stream to YouTube. A little show where we talk about the Wheel of Time, and we have a really good time. And today we're having a really great time because we got all this fun stuff to talk about. And I look forward to hearing Mary Lou's thoughts. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a whole shebang. So I'm really excited about the casting announcements. I think I'm waiting for Mary Lou to talk about them a little bit more, but definitely going to be spicy. Varen looks like a Varen to me. And Lamphere looks like a Lanfear. I mean, we're guessing it's Lamphere. Um, Hashtag Twitter of time. Okay. Uh, anyway, let's get back to the business at hand. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I don't know why I started talking like this. Sometimes when I get too excited, my Lufkin comes out. That's where my mama grew up. And hey, you know that happens sometimes, right? That happen sometimes, right? Yeah. Ooh, I'm sure everyone already saw this, but let's do it. Let's just start watching.
Amazon Prime Videos. I'm thrilled to present to you Amazon Prime Videos, the Wheel of Time panel at New York Comic Con.
We actually got to bring you a little clip today, and this clip is Moiraine's first arrival in the Two Rivers.
Traditionally, any guide character in a fantasy world is a man, and it was very intriguing to have this mysterious stranger be a woman.
I knew that this character would go on such an incredible journey, and as an actor, that's everything that you hope for.
It's a gift to have so much material to sink your teeth in.
The level of artistry is like nothing I've ever experienced before.
Every room, tavern, city that these characters went into, they had their own character.
They looked absolutely fantastic.
We have some new cast members in season 2. Kira Kofi, Natasha O'Keefe, and Mira Sayal. They are going to really deepen and bring to life the rest of the world of Wheel of Time.
Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. And hello, welcome again. This is Maidens of the Spear, where we talk about the Wheel of Time. And you know we have a really good time. And we're just kind of processing. Look, I don't have a plan. Normally, I try to go into these streams knowing loosely what I'm going to talk about. Maybe I've done a little bit of research, gotten ready, but today, fluff it. We're just talking about these drops, these beautiful drops. We got Sierra Coveney. This isn't Sierra Coveney. This is Sierra Coveney, who will be playing Elaine Tracond. I could see it. I like it. I like this as a take on Elaine. She looks young. It'll be a young Elaine, but she'll have to look older for the show because they can't age up Rand and then have a really young Elaine. That would just be creepy. But I assume this is red auburn hair, and yeah, I have nothing to say. I know nothing about this actress, but she looks like she could be a convincing Elaine. And this right here is Amira Sayal, and I don't know, y'all. She looks like a Varen to me. And she looks like a Varen right there. That right there, that right there doesn't look like a Varen to me. If I do say so myself. But if she's not a Varen, I guess there's some other options. She could be. She's got to be Varen, right? Okay. There's some other things she could be. She could be. Who else might we meet in season 2? I think we might start meeting some Aiel in season 2. So she could be like a wise one or an Aiel. She could be any Aes Sedai. She's got to be Varen. She's Varen. For now, she's Varen until proven otherwise. Okay. And then we got Natasha O'Keefe here, who feels like a freaking Lanfear to me. That's my guess. She feels like a Lanfear, right? She's in Peaky Blinders. She's in Sherlock. She's in a bunch of stuff. She does all that British stuff. I'm actually... Let's watch some of these actors at work. Why not? So, first, let's find out what Sierra Coveney, it's her deal. Okay, The Amazing World of Emma. She's pretty new. She doesn't look super established. That's good. I like that trend of casting unestablished actors for the roles, especially of the younger people, like the Two Rivers Five, the Emmonsfield Five. I think that is good. That's good. Oh, Lanfear, right? I mean, she could be any number of things. She could be Leandrin. Well, they've already cast Leandrin, haven't they? Okay. While we wait for Mary Lou, I will show y'all a little video that I made. This is exclusive look at the full-length clip.
If you'll come this way.
JK. Hello, Mary Lou, and welcome.
Hi.
Mary Lou. Mary Lou,
Yes,
we got a
sir.
lot to talk about today.
I know, I'm so excited.
We got a lot to talk about today.
I know, we got so much.
So I've kind of started talking about it a little bit, but I'm going to start over now that my good friend Mary Lou is here.
Hi.
Mary Lou, say hi.
Hi, I'm Mary Lou.
That's Mary Lou. I'm Sarah, and we are the Maidens of the Spear.
That's us.
And we host a weekly plus some other times a live talk show on Twitch and YouTube where we talk about the Wheel of Time, and our normal time is Mondays at 11 a.m.
It's true.
PST. And sometimes we stream when there's news, which is going to happen increasingly often. Ain't that
And
right, Mary
boy,
Lou?
do we have news
Boy, do we
today.
have news today. So, Mary Lou, how do you want to go through this? I mean,
Okay, first I think we should start with the new trailer. Or
is
it's not
there?
a trailer,
It's not the
but
clip. You want to see the
the
clip?
clip. I want to start with the clip.
Okay, let's watch the clip. All right, we're gonna start with the clip. This clip was revealed at NYCC.
Everybody's got a pipe.
Our boy. That's our boy.
He's so handsome.
That's our girl.
Is our girl? Ooh, cold shoulder.
How did the ceremony
That's our
go
other
today?
boy.
I don't know, actually. We haven't talked yet.
I'm sure she's just busy.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Ceremony's got to be speaking the words in front of the town council or the women's circle.
I thought it was her river ceremony because he says I don't
Oh,
know.
Fair, definitely her river
I
ceremony.
think it's like the wisdom induction ceremony.
Ugh, definitely it's that. Fuck.
Looks like a Murderall. Oh my god,
Is
is
it a
Murderall?
Murderall? Who the fuck is that? Scary.
Name yourself, stranger.
Name yourself, stranger.
Name yourself.
Lan Mondragoran. This is Moiraine.
Okay, I got the drama vibes we're getting from this.
The
I feel like
deep, misty cut.
I feel like Mary Shelley directed this shit.
My lady, can I help you?
It's so goth.
It's very like gothic
We'll need
romance
stables for
horror.
our horses and a room for the night. 2 beds and fresh linen, that's all we need. Of course, Moraine Sedai.
No secrets in this town. Oh, she can already see it. Wait, what happened? It paused for me. Okay.
Yep. So I edited a silly little video based on the last half of this trailer that I put out on Twitter, but so I've just been like watching this clip over and over again.
What is
But
this video? I haven't seen it yet.
I'll show you the video in a bit, but first I want to go through this just slowly so we can pause and react and stuff.
Love it.
Okay. So,
Stormy, stormy night
Emmons Field, little
over
town.
Emmonsfield. Music. Laughter.
Definitely getting Lord of the Rings vibes so far.
Very much. I love that women have pipes and women have beer. That feels very Emmonsfield,
Mhm.
right? So the ceremony, okay, yeah, we'll get there. Sorry. She does not look happy to see him.
No.
How did the ceremony go today?
Don't know, actually. We haven't talked yet.
I'm sure she's just busy.
Yeah. I'm sure.
So I want to talk first interaction with are you hearing a sound or is that me?
I don't hear a sound. What sound?
I'm going crazy here, Mary Lou. I'm hearing a
Uh-oh.
sound. I'm hearing a ringing in my ear.
Oh, no.
Okay, look. So we got Perrin and Rand. First, yeah, that ceremony. Rah, rah, rah. We got the little innkeeper's daughter doing what she do.
I
We got
love
Rand
it.
watching her. Definitely a little cold.
Very cold.
How did the ceremony go today?
Perrin looks like he's towering over Rand. I think that actor is actually taller than Joshua.
Oh,
But-
really?
Yeah.
It looks like they're.
I like the way they sound. It's good. It feels natural.
Yeah.
I was afraid this show was gonna come off super CW. Like that just got in my head last night.
Really.
But this doesn't feel that.
No, this doesn't
Um,
feel CW, and I also like that their accents aren't too posh.
Yeah, no,
I was kind of
definitely.
worried that their accents might make it sound like much more posh than they actually are, but they're not.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Don't know, actually. We haven't talked yet. I'm sure she's just busy. Yeah. I'm sure.
Handsome
Who enters? We got some boots.
boots. I mean, book readers are definitely thinking this is a murder.
I thought it was a Myrddraal. When I watched it the first time, I was like, this is a Myrddraal right here. Especially, like, the first look they give us. It's a little exaggerated. Just this, like, this show is...
Is this how you would enter an
No.
inn?
No, like, this show is leaning into, like, kind of an unrealistic level of drama. And I think we're just going to have to be okay with that. Like, I think
Yeah.
this show is telling us what it's giving us. It is giving us heightened drama. Like
High fantasy,
high fantasy, gothic
drama.
horror drama, right?
Mhm.
And like that's what we're seeing here. And just like
This is not how a human being enters an inn.
No, in the way that this cloak is up on his head, like this is meant to make us think it's a Myrddraal.
Yeah.
And like he just enters and just stands there menacingly, still.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Just waiting to be addressed.
Yeah, it's very strange.
But of course, Nynaeve, my queen,
Name
ain't
yourself,
afraid of
stranger.
no bitch.
Oh no, it's a hot older man.
Lan Mondragoran.
Okay, so this is an important point right here, Mary Lou.
Yes.
Lan Mondragoran.
Lan Mondragoran.
How is
At
he
least
saying
it's
his
Lan.
first name?
Lan Mondragoran.
Lan Mondragoran. Yeah.
That's not
I
how
think
I
his
said
name
it, but
is
I like it.
Lan
At least it's not
Mandragoran.
Lon. Do you remember when we thought it might be Lon?
I'm glad it's not Lon. I
Huge
do
sigh
think
of relief.
it should be pronounced Lan Mandragoran, but
Malkir Swaggeran. Love
Lan
it.
Mandragoran. Anyway,
I know. I love Lan Mandragoran, but Lan Mondragoran is fine.
This is Moiraine.
He's
And
so
like, what
handsome.
kind of entrance is this to? This is Moiraine.
The deep, misty, like fade in is so intense.
This like whole thing is intense. It's like I
This
think
is Moiraine.
I don't know if it's just for this entrance scene. They could have dialed it back a couple notches, but I'm also like, to people watching, Mary Lou already knows this about me. The way I engage with things that I like is by critiquing them. Criticizing this doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. And if this is gonna be like a high drama, like dark and stormy night kind of show, I'm okay with that. If it knows what
Yeah.
it is, if it makes a choice, like
I'm into it. I kind of maybe see it as a reflection of the choice that Moiraine and Lan made not to go in incognito, right? So in the books, they're incognito for as long as possible, and she only reveals herself as an Aes Sedai when she has to.
Yeah,
but
it's very different. It's a very different
It's
vibe.
very different. So I can see them making this big dramatic entrance because she's trying to walk in under the cloud of being an Aes Sedai. Like they're doing this on purpose.
Definitely, it's a performance for the villagers. I think also like maybe we're kind of getting the drama from the villagers' perspective. This is
Mhm.
unusual, and like it does kind of like in the books, in the Eye of the World, it is a high drama moment. Like the name of the chapter is The Strangers.
The Strangers, yeah.
So
It's a high drama moment, but it's usually, it used to be because like, wow, we have a beautiful lady and her handsome
yeah, he was excited. It
bodyguard.
wasn't a horror.
We've never
thing.
had people this rich in our town before, right? They're like
Mhm.
fancy. That's why they were exciting, not because they were like terrifying. And this is just a more exciting, dramatic. Well, no, I won't say more exciting. I will say more dramatic entrance.
It's different. I mean, it's going to be a different story. Like with the choice to age up the characters, it would be weird to have
For them to be like,
yeah, you're not going
Yeah.
to have your mid-20s Rand and Perrin and Matt and Egwene all excited about a noble lady.
yeah,
So I think this was a fair change to make.
yeah.
This is Moiraine.
And it makes
This is
for good
Moiraine.
TV. God, I cannot get over this deep, misty fade in. That is so
messy.
bizarre.
It's a weird choice.
But she's beautiful.
Egwene is fantastic.
Oh, she's into it.
I really like Marcus' parents so far. Like this is based on nothing, but I'm just getting like a good parent vibe from him.
Huge parent vibes.
And Rand is fine too. I like that he's like a little bit of a pretty boy.
Yeah.
Nynaeve. So good.
So good.
They do like a really good job
She
of,
got ignored.
I've been like doing a lot of preemptive shit talking of Rafe and his directorial capabilities, and the jury's still out on that.
Yeah.
But in this clip, from just like the perspective of judging a pilot, I think they're doing a pretty good job with the characterization of these characters, showing, not telling early
6
on.
lines have been said, and
Yeah.
a lot of information has been conveyed.
A lot of information has been conveyed. And obviously, like, as people who know the characters and know the books, it's easier for us to see these subtleties and read into them what we already know about the characters. But I think it's pretty good. Like this is an important scene, especially for people who haven't read the books. Like, it does a really good job of impressing on the audience, like, the weight of what it means that she's an Aes Sedai.
Right.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
Especially like we're about to see Maren Alvear's reaction, and I think that's good.
Yeah.
That's all we need. Of course, Moraine Sedai.
Good acting.
Mm-hmm. All she has to do is flash a ring.
I kind of wanted her to like elevate the fire a little bit. Okay, we got Matt
with a woman.
Some girl. Feels right. I like Barney as Matt. Serious. But I think you can tell a little bit that Egwene's kind of excited. Maybe I'm reading that into it.
Yeah,
from nothing.
definitely.
If you'll come this way.
Overall, it's good. I like it as a Wine Spring Inn. It makes more sense that it would be like this big meeting place for Emond's Field. In the books, it's never described as particularly full, except maybe for when like the town, the village council is in their meeting.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to show you my edit now.
Oh boy, here we go.
This is the full-length extended version of this clip.
I like the music. Sarah, I'm obsessed with this. It's so funny.
If you'll come this way.
That is just so funny. I'm
a silly little edit.
That is very silly. I'm a big fan. That's so funny.
A silly little edit. We got some comments from Mega Madu. The Wine Spring intro is a crowded town hall with lots of food. Feels right to her. I agree.
It does feel
like
right.
it. It does feel
I
right.
love it.
I think it's good. Like, honestly, I think it's good. I think like the set looks great. We talked about this before. It's like a little more medieval maybe than I always imagined it as being more Renaissance. Oh, we got some loading problems. Loading. Someone call the Chromaja. Someone call the Chromaja.
Chromaja.
Chromaja. Okay. I guess we won't do that.
Guess we won't.
Okay. Oh, is it gonna let us? What's going on?
What is this one?
It's the same video we just watched. Totally
Oh.
fine. No problems.
Weird.
Okay. So
That was awesome.
that was great. Let's listen. Did you listen to this song, Mary Lou?
No, I didn't.
We'll just listen to a little bit. This is like the first official like Wheel of Time song that has been released, other than what we've heard in the trailers.
It's very exciting.
So there's the whole song you can listen to on Spotify. What are your first
Yeah.
thoughts, Mary Lou?
My first thoughts is it's very Eastern sounding,
It's very Eastern.
Eastern influenced, right?
Yeah.
Which is very interesting because Rafe talked about in the panel about how the series was inspired by, Hinduism and Buddhism. And I think I'm
Yeah.
kind of seeing that in a lot of the creative choices, which is very cool to me.
I like it. And yeah, exactly on that point. Like you can hear the vocals to me feel very kind of like Indian, but
Yeah.
then the instrumentation is very like Japanese kind of string instruments and
Lots of plucked strings as
lot of plucked
opposed to bowed
strings.
strings, which is very Eastern as opposed to Western.
And then but also I'm getting like kind of Celtic feeling with the pipes. I think overall that song does a really good job of capturing the essence of all the influences that did go into it. Like it is
Super
very,
interesting.
there's a lot of Celtic shit that goes into it, a lot of Norse mythology going into it, but a ton of influence, as you said, from Hinduism, Buddhism, and Japanese culture as well.
Definitely.
I think it's cool. I have no idea
a
how
big
it's going to
fan.
play in the show. Apparently, it's old tongue. Some people have been like trying to translate it.
Cool.
And I saw one line that someone was like, "This might be saying like, Tar Valon stand strong." Like it might be like an Aes Sedai kind of
Aes
song.
Sedai song. Cool. That
Yeah.
sounds like a hot pink Aja. Not the hot pink Aja.
The
which
pink
one is it?
Aja,
The
the
pink
regular pink Aja.
Regular pink Aja.
But I think it's good. I like it. A lot of people are obsessed with it. I made a version of that song as well. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see anything. I've been at work all
Well,
day.
I actually was able to find the English translation of the lyrics.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
a lot of people on Twitter had been translating it. So I just I used some editing software in Logic X and After Effects and some AI neural networks.
Okay.
And I was able to translate the song for everyone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you remove the comment?
Yes, I can.
Thank you very much.
The wheels of the time go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels of the time go round and round.
So that's
Wow,
the translation.
amazing. I
It's-
love
it's
that.
incredible.
I mean, so simple, but so meaningful to so many.
Yeah, I love that they took like a Touchstone cultural reference, but then like brought it into the
Absolutely.
show.
Definitely. And
really
what's
deep.
a more important message? What's a more, indicative message of the whole series than the wheels of the time go round and round, right?
Ages come and go. The wheels of the time go round
Go
and
round
round.
and round. Ages come and
Exactly.
ages
I think it
long
really
past.
captures Robert Jordan's message.
Love that. Love that.
Let's watch some highlights from the panel.
Would love to watch some highlights.
I'm thrilled to present to you Amazon Prime Video's The Wheel of Time panel at New York Comic Con.
We actually got to bring you a little clip today, and
Okay, this is something that I wouldn't be able to say if I weren't a gay myself. But I like how gay Rafe sounds. I'd never listened to him talk before. I just kind of read what he'd said, and hearing him talk, I find it reassuring.
That's
we
very
actually got to bring you a little clip today, and this clip is Moiraine's first arrival in the Two Rivers.
traditionally any guide character in a fantasy world is a man, and it was very intriguing to have this mysterious stranger be a woman.
I knew that this character would go on such an incredible journey, and as an actor, that's everything that you hope for.
It's a gift to have so much material.
Chosha, where's your hair?
I hate to say it, but I love it.
You love this as a choice?
Ooh, gets me going.
Okay.
I want to touch it. I bet it's soft.
I bet it's very soft.
But it's fuzzy.
To sink your teeth in.
The level of artistry is like nothing.
The level of artistry. I
The
love her
level of
accent.
artistry is like nothing.
I'm glad they got a Kiwi to play Nynaeve.
She sounds Scottish there.
She's from New Zealand.
I know, but she sounds Scottish.
To sink your teeth in.
The level of artistry is like nothing I've ever experienced before.
Every room, tavern, city that these characters went into, they had their own character. They looked absolutely fantastic.
Speaking of looking absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fantastic.
We have
just
some
pause
new
on
cast
her
members
forever.
in season 2. Kira, Kofi,
Okay, we'll talk about these when we'll pull up the actual photos.
Natasha O'Keefe, and Mira Sayal. They are going to really deepen and bring to life the rest of the world of Wheel of Time.
Okay, we gotta talk about the casting announcements.
The what?
We gotta talk about the casting announcements.
We got to talk about the casting first. I just do want to scrub to this scene.
Love that.
I love the mountain landscape random matter climbing over, says Mega Madu in the Twitch chat.
Mhm.
I agree. It's beautiful. Like, whoever was the scene scout for this show found some incredibly beautiful places.
Very.
And there's actually some photos of a setting for season 2 where someone's like they've been filming in this location that I'm pretty sure might be the Aiel Waste.
Exciting.
Yes. But let's talk about this casting announcement. So
yesterday we talked about our predictions for what we thought was going to be announced. And do you remember what I predicted?
You did. I do. Yeah, you got it. You nailed it.
I freaking nailed it. I literally
You
said we're going to get
freaking nailed it.
I said we're going to get Lanfear, we're going to get Elaine, and we're going to get Varen. And who's that? Elaine. She's gorgeous. She's perfect. She looks young. She looks smart.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
She is beautiful. She's a good Elaine. She's like, I like that she's a little different. Like, obviously she's beautiful and she's like Hollywood standard, beautiful and all that. But she doesn't feel like traditional, just like kind of generic hot girl. Like I would recognize her.
Yeah.
She's got like a look. We think Natasha O'Keefe is Lanfear.
I am certain of it.
Yeah, she looks like a Lanfear.
She looks bad.
She looks bad.
Bad. Look at that bone structure.
Oh, it's great. It's so pretty.
I love it. I think she's gonna be. I as soon as I saw her, instantly I was like, Lanfear.
Yep. And I, gotta love a woman with a strong jawline.
Mm.
And then gotta be Varen, right?
Gotta be Varen.
She just freaking looks like a Varen.
She just looks like a Varen. She looks like the smartest person I've ever seen. Like she looks like she could take one look at me and know everything about me. But she also looks very warm and cheerful, but also like she might have a deep dark secret. So like, can you imagine?
What could that be? Varen
I have
has
no
a
idea.
deep dark
And
secret?
honestly, I don't know what I'm talking about. But I think she's so perfect as a Varen, and I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. Yeah. Sucks that we have to wait till season 2 to see her in action because that's like a year away.
I know.
Lanfear and Varen. You're right, Scooby Dane. You're right.
That's what I think.
Okay. So those are like the biggest things.
Those are the big things.
Those are the big things. We talked about the poster. Talked about the stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to like hop on and just kind of process.
We had to react. We
had to react. We had to process this stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was really awesome. I read a lot of transcripts of the panel. I couldn't watch it because I was working.
Anything else that you learned from the panel that you'd like to bring up?
I really liked the way. What's the guy who plays Perrin? I've been forgetting names all day
Marcus
long.
Rutherford.
Marcus. I almost said Rufus. And I was like, that's not right. But
Rufus
it's close.
Motherford.
Rufus Motherford. So Rufus, Marcus, though I like the way he talked about Perrin as being a gentle giant who had to come
Definitely.
to terms with the animal inside. Really felt like he
Pretty good summary of Perrin's arc.
pretty good, like pretty much nailed it. I also really liked how they talked about where they all were in the book.
Sherbet Mango, we talked about it a little bit, but we can go back to it in just a bit.
Absolutely. I really liked how they talked about how much they had all read. So Josh is the farthest, and he's only in book 11.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
so they don't know.
Sadly, I wasn't able to watch. I jumped on this stream immediately after getting off of work, so I haven't been able to like watch or read anything.
Yeah. So Madeline talked about how her character has such an amazing arc, and she doesn't know how it ends.
She doesn't know how it ends.
I don't know if any of them do.
Hi, Marissa. Welcome.
Hi, Marissa. So that was really interesting for me, is that like obviously it takes forever to read 14,000 page books, or 15, excuse me. So I guess that makes sense that none of them are finished. But
they've been cast for like 2 years, some of them.
I don't know.
I've burned through these books in like 3-4 months.
Yeah. So did I. But we have a lot
They're
of time.
busy. They're busy.
They're busy.
And it's kind of interesting if they don't know where they're going, where their characters end up.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that's
like
life.
That's life. In real life, the characters don't know where they end up. And as long as the directors and writers know, then the actors can play authentically to the moment they're in without like over anticipating and like lampshading what's going to come.
Mm-hmm. So I don't mind it so much. I just thought that was really interesting. Yeah, each one that described their character, I got the sense that they very much understood the characters the way I understand them.
Yeah.
Right. So that was very important to me as a book reader, that I didn't feel like they made any assumptions or changes to their character based on their just having only read the scripts. I really felt like they understood the characters like I know and love them. And so that was really exciting for me to hear them talk each about their own character that way.
Yeah.
Or I didn't hear it. I read it.
You read it, right? That's
I was reading it during a meeting.
That's really good. And that's going to be like, ultimately, that's what is going to be the most important thing to get right, I think, for fans of the books. Like, as long as the characters feel like the characters, then I think any plot points that are changed, prop points that are changed, aren't going to matter that much. So, like, for example, we were talking about Lan's sword, and some theorizing, and you threw out the option like, well, maybe they got rid of Malkir and they're going to squeeze Malkir into Faldara. And I know you don't believe that. I know you were just spitballing. But the reason that change bothers me conceptually wouldn't be because like it's a change. Changes are going to happen. We know they're going to happen. It would bother me because I think making that change would change something so fundamental to Lan the character as we have experienced him.
Mm-hmm. That it comes from a fallen country, that he's the last one.
Yeah, and then it's been like, I like that he's like, his character is someone who's longer in the fight,
Yeah.
And that's important to that character. And we haven't seen any evidence that that's changed. I'm just like pointing out the kind of change I won't like. We're going to see changes, but as long as like the actors know who their characters are and the writers and directors know who the characters are, then the changes hopefully won't matter that much. I might still complain about things like the Waygate looking different because I'm a big old book nerd, but like in the end, the way certain things look won't impact the ability to tell the story.
It's true. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
So yesterday, or was it Wednesday, that we were talking and I was feeling very dispirited by the stupid sword shit. After Comic-Con today, I am feeling good. And I feel more reinforced in my opinion that the bad poster and the pictures that they pushed out were just like, let's have material, let's have content to hit the timeline for days coming up to Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con. So that I feel better about that like poster that I didn't love, that felt like it was like a reference photo or a stand-in that they were just like, I don't know, put it out there.
Yeah, it felt like a mock-up for sure.
Yeah. I feel like it would have been a really great poster had they actually done a photo shoot for it. So I'm looking forward.
Really, all it needed was a photo shoot.
I am looking forward to the poster where they've actually done the photo shoot. I'm looking forward to that.
Right. Yeah.
Not too much more to discuss based on the content of the panel. They didn't give us a lot. They gave us a good amount. Yeah, Marisa, I would agree with you 100%. The sword and the poster coming out so close together made me so nervous. Because it seemed like clues indicative of the same thing, that there's sloppiness or carelessness happening. And, as people who care about these books so much, it's like really dispiriting to see people make mistakes that come from carelessness as opposed to like not knowing better. Because we know they know better, right?
Exactly.
You shouldn't have made those dumb mistakes. They came from carelessness or rushed or sloppiness. And I hope it was just because it was rushed because they don't have budget, because the season hasn't come out. And so Amazon isn't underfunding them. Sorry, not Amazon, Shai Ghul or Mordeth is underfunding them. Yeah, it was really nerve-wracking. It was dispiriting to see. And then the panel has really lifted my spirits because at least I know there was a panel of 8 people or 7 people that really did care, that really freaking get it. Or care, right? Rafe, like, who knows if he gets it? We have jury's still out, but he cares.
Yeah.
Right? He I don't know, his heart's in it. It feels like, to moi. So that raised my spirits quite a bit.
Totally. I think it's been really reassuring to get, actually. And but now, because we had a special request from one of our very special friends, Sherbet Mingo. Yes, it took you 15 years to finish the series. It took me 8 years or whatever, but it doesn't really count if you're waiting for books to come out.
That's true. Doesn't count.
But I'm talking about now on a reread, I can burn through it. First time through, of course, you should take it a little bit more carefully.
Yeah.
But
I think I took like 6 months to a year.
Yeah, you really cruised. Sherbet Mango asked if we had already talked about the song, and we had talked about it a little bit, but I had only played Mary Lou that like 30-second clip.
And I hadn't heard it yet.
And you hadn't heard it yet, but let's just like listen to the song. Why not?
Can you remove the comment? That feels like a sitar.
Kind of sitar, or like we're just gonna do the whole thing.
No harmony. No harmony. Voices, but all in unison.
It's an interesting choice.
It is. Male voices, but no harmony. He went from minor keys to major in the chorus. More driving.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like that was like a classic EDM drop in structure.
Yeah.
Because I'm okay with more like synth music in this show.
Yeah. It would be their heritage, right? It already happened.
Classic riser.
Oh, first instance of harmony. But only on one note.
Definitely Marissa.
Definitely. With it being so repetitive and not being in harmony, it feels
it's
like
hypnotic.
It's hypnotic. And it feels like a banner song. It feels like a song that you sing with your soldiers to.
It's a chant for sure. I mean, this feels like
It feels kind of like a hymn, maybe, or something that you sing, you know, at church camp around the campfire.
It's definitely, yeah. This feels like a Buddhist, like. There's a whole genre of like.
What? I'm loving this instrument. Very repetitive. I don't mean that as a criticism.
It's not a criticism.
It's a very interesting.
This show,
Cool.
music is going to be so key for the success of this show.
I think so.
Like whether or not this show becomes a classic, I think so much of it's going to depend on the music feeling classic. And when you look at like the fantasy shows that are out there, so much iconic screen music of the last years has come from fantasy movies. I mean, like the Lord of the Rings soundtrack is freaking iconic.
Iconic.
So good. The Game of Thrones soundtrack. Dun dun da da dun dun da da.
Iconic.
It's iconic, but different from Lord of the Rings. It gave Game of Thrones its own tone and its own it created a new atmosphere from Game of Thrones. And whoever, I mean, it's Lorne Balfe, but the job of being the composer for this show was always going to be a huge ask. And I like that they just did something weird. This is a weird song.
Different. Yeah, it's weird.
It's a weird song.
It's in a fake language.
It's in a fake language. It's not in like any sort of consistent mode. Like I'm listening to it and I'm just like Mixolydian or something. Like it's like all over the place.
Yeah, it starts out very minor and then major, but still with some like intervals that are very crunchy. Definitely. The score can make or break a show. Oh, Marisa, thank you for blowing up our chat.
It was repetitive like a bell tolling. It was repetitive like a chant.
Repetitive like a bell tolling, like a boot, like boots, right? Like a horse traveling. It was driving, but it didn't start that way. And that was really interesting to me, how it started sort of like very floaty and ethereal. And then the chorus came in for the first time and it became very driving in a more major key. And that was exciting.
I know that Rafe has gotten inspiration from travels around Southeast Asia. And listening to this song, I'm not saying that Lauren had ever heard this song. It reminded me of this song that I heard a lot when I was in Nepal, like 5 years ago. And
Buddhist chants.
And I'm just going to clip through this. It's a 24-minute long song.
Yeah, that's a huge tenet of Buddhism, and especially Zen Buddhism, is right, is that repetitive phrase that you use to take
It's
you
a
to
mantra.
meditation and enlightenment. And there's so much of that in like the Aes Sedai meditation and channeling. So definitely the major minor changes felt very Indonesian. It felt very Eastern, and I loved that.
It is a mantra. Like that song, it's a mantra. Whatever it is that they're saying in the old tongue.
Yeah.
It's the same repeated phrase over and over. And it really like leans in. I like that it really leans into the mysticism of the Aes Sedai.
Yes.
Because that's something that I think like is heavily implied, but not actually discussed a ton explicitly in the series.
Yeah.
And I like the positioning of Aes Sedai as this more mystic thing.
Kind of cultish.
Very cultish.
I like that too.
I think it's cool.
Oh, I'm a big fan. It matched me. I like the instrumental. I like the drums, very driving drums that come in those big, they sound like war drums, the really echoey and shaky ones.
Yeah.
You know?
Lajar Dan says, I'm not still sure. I'm still not sure if I like the music, but I do love that it is so unique. And yeah, that's like what I like about it.
I like that it's unique.
I don't know that I would go listen to it on Spotify.
No.
But it's weird and it's different and it's setting itself apart. It's setting itself apart from the, the Fellowship, the bum 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 bum. Da, 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 ya, da, da, ya, da, da.
Definitely. Like, we didn't hear any brass. We didn't hear any bowed strings.
No bowed strings.
Which is what? Like, we're doing medievals, we're doing fantasy without strings? That feels like crazy to me, and like such an a purposeful choice that is heartening. Really heartening.
Great. But when you actually look at the instruments that you see around the Wheel of Time, it is plucked strings. It is harps.
It's harps.
It's harps and it's flutes and it's not brassy. I think it's cool. I respect that they did it and they went with something weird. There's the Horn of Valier, but that's like an ancient relic.
True. They do hear horns from the Trollocs, right? So there are horns, but they don't really use them in music, it feels like.
No strings, no bowed strings. A lot of stringed instruments, just not violins and cellos and violas.
Mm-hmm.
It felt very. I wish I could remember the name of those instruments, like the Japanese string instruments.
Yeah, I forget. All I can think of is the sitar, which at the beginning that instrument did sound very much like a sitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that stringed instrument? It has 3 strings that geishas play.
I forget. Koto is what it is.
Aha.
Like that's what I was hearing a lot of in there. I felt like, and a lot of the kind of Japanese bending that they do with like koto music.
And I also heard a little bit of like a dulcimer, like those little like yeah, totally. Heard some like metal like
those little things, yeah.
Which is cool.
It felt like just a hodgepodge of like instruments from all over, and I thought that was cool, and I think that's like what the music should be, because that's what Robert Jordan is going for.
Of inspirations and instruments, but it still felt like it didn't feel like a mess.
Wah 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 wah. It's like weird shit.
And that's the vocal technique that you said. It sounds very Indian. It does. It sounds like this sort of like traditional Indian, like Sanskrit singing of the trilling.
Like
yes, but the way that she falls off every last note.
Yeah.
Da da da. Right. Da da da. Da da da.
It's cool.
Right?
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's very cool.
And it is fascinating that there's no harmony But in that Buddhist mantra
No.
song, Om Mani Padme Hum, there's no harmony either. It's just the
No.
mantra repeated
It's because
unharmonized.
it's about being together.
It's
It's
about
about
being
being together
together.
and singing in one voice. There was one note with harmony.
And
Where
y'all,
they
Mary
broke
Lou,
off, and
Mary
it's
Lou
only
is a
2.
like literally a professional harmonizer.
Literally, this is what I do for money. I'm an arranger and singer and harmonizer. So that's what I'm listening for, right? I was listening for harmonies. None. We had octaves, right? We had singers up and down the octaves. We had both male and female voices, but not in harmony. That is wild. That is wild to me.
And while we're talking about the music, while we're here, let's like just kind of look at some of the other music from the show that we've heard.
I'd love to.
Yeah. So, first, let's look at the music in that little clip we got to see, which I've heard so many times today because I was editing it, but that's my fault. No one else's. I'm the one who decided to do that.
No, it's my fault. I'm
Literally,
sorry.
no one.
I don't know
made
how,
me.
but it's my fault.
It is your fault, actually.
It's my fault.
It is your. Now that I think about it, it's your fault.
You're right. You're right. Luana says, I loved the melody and the feel, but not so much the vocals. Would love to listen to them separately, though. Yeah, the vocals were definitely doing a specific style of singing that is not necessarily my favorite kind of vocals to listen to. It's very airy and very breathy. And it felt more like someone who sings in a temple rather than a professional singer.
It also had a little bit of like Enya vibes, though. Like I was getting definitely some Celtic vibes.
Definitely some Celtic vibes, especially like you said with the pipes or the flutes. Because the flutes were very airy, very windy. You could hear the wind going through them, as opposed to I feel like a lot of Eastern wind instruments are incredibly clear.
Depends. Like I think
the ones you recently just played were incredibly clear and not very.
Oh yeah. I think a lot of Indian instruments are. I was thinking like Japanese pipes are often very airy and reedy. But the vocals are. The first time I heard the song, I was like, I don't like this. Like the vocals came in, and I was like, this is harsh. It feels mixed weirdly. Like it was so not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And the more I hear it, the more I'm like, actually, this is really interesting.
Yeah, I find the vocals very interesting rather than like pleasant.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That they're meant to be. Like again, it
yeah,
feels
exactly.
like religious music.
Which is really interesting to me. And so I'm a big fan of it, even though, like we've said, I don't think I'm gonna like go back and listen to it a lot. I do have this sort of chant stuck in my head.
It's in my head. Da 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 da. Like I just love that turn.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the point is that they wrote a hymn, they wrote a chant that's meant for people to sing all together as one, be one voice, as some sort of hypnotic and revelatory act, right? Instead of a song, which at least that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm reading into it.
I think it's cool. But let's listen to the music. We're going to play that clip again, the Wine Spring Inn clip that we already played today and went through, but this time we're just going to be listening for the music. Jangly, jangly, jangly. Like this is very.
This feels Celtic.
Like it's cool.
Ding 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 ding. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that bass drum.
Yes, shaky
You can start
drum.
to hear. I feel like you can start to hear a little bit of chanting in there too. There's just like a little bit of coming in.
Love it.
It's fun. I like it.
Yeah, feels definitely more Celtic. Until that voice.
And I like that voice is ambiguous, whether it's part of the song or like just a voice from the inn. Because it's like, is this someone just laughing or making noise in the end? And then you're like, no, this is actually like some weird Celtic chant shit they're doing.
How did the ceremony go today? Don't know, actually. We haven't talked yet.
I like that the music's down while they're talking.
Busy. Yeah. I'm sure.
Tension is mounting, people. Oh, I fucking love these like cowboy jangly spur entrance scene. This is fucking like, that's like Quentin Tarantino shit.
It's a little Tarantino.
This is Wine Spring Inn, brought to you by Quentin. That's the drama element. Okay, when we were talking about this before, that's what I was trying to place. It feels like Quentin Tarantino. It's like
In that
stylized. It's heightened.
Yeah, it's not meant to sound like real life.
I'm sure.
Boots.
Yeah, it's heightened. I love this wind.
That literally blows Nynaeve away, like blows her hair back. I love that she's the first face we see when Lan enters.
And she's the one who first talks to him. Wah, wah, wah.
Name
Kind of like
yourself,
Lost
stranger.
vibes back there. Just simmering strings.
Lan Mondragoran.
Okay, and this part feels just like the background music here. It's like, ooh, feels like a fucking Zelda temple.
Yeah.
Lan Mondragoran.
Very windy.
This is Moraine.
Now we get some string.
And some like electronic instruments coming in.
My lady, can I help you?
Let's go back to Moraine's entrance.
This is Moraine.
That chord.
Oh, this like bass string on the coming in on the left.
This is Moraine.
It feels electric to me. I don't know. Going too much in detail here.
That
part's
is
great.
such a tense
Spooky.
note.
Wah, 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 wah,
My
wah, wah.
lady, can I help you?
Resolved when she walks down.
This
We'll
is
need
more
stables
classic.
for our horses and a
kind
room
of
for the night. 2 beds
screen
and fresh
music.
linen, that's all we need. Of
That's a
course,
classic little.
Moraine Sedai.
I love that little.
We'll need stables for our horses and a room for the night. 2 beds and fresh linen, that's all we need. Of course, Moraine Sedai.
Wow.
Feels very mysterious.
It feels like the
Of course,
the opening of the Yu-Gi-Oh song.
Moraine
Yeah.
Sedai.
Wind. Lots of wind.
It literally is the opening of the Yu-Gi-Oh song. Your move. It's time to duel. This is like really classic, like atmospheric string.
Those shings at the top. Love it.
Stream unavailable on YouTube?
What do you mean?
Did we get a copyright strike already?
Oops, it's possible.
Stream suspended for policy violations.
I think we got a copyright.
Damn. We're not allowed to go through and provide commentary? Okay, first of all, this is absolutely fair use, what we're doing right here.
Fair use. We're not making money off of this, I can tell you that much.
Every channel is streaming this right now. I know. It might be for that Om Mane Padme Om song I talked about.
But that's like a cultural song. It's not like copyright.
I'm going to stop the YouTube broadcast. Okay, hang on, everybody. I'm going to stop the broadcast and be right back and hope that like resets it.
Yeah.